YouTube to show. We've been on for a few minutes, I'm sure. Hey, everybody. Oh, is that normal?
It certainly is, Paul.
Okay.
It certainly is normal.
All right.
This is hashtag the land of technical difficulties.
What's up, everybody? Welcome. Welcome. Oh.
Do you want to turn your volume off?
Oh, my God.
What a rookie mistake.
What
First game of the year. He's already thrown stuff. Bills are 1-0, everybody. Can you turn your volume off, please?
Yeah. Oh. I thought I did. Oh, yeah. Look at that. It's like an endless loop of Mario. Nobody needs that.
Why would we not start off that way, ladies and
Hey,
gentlemen?
everybody. What's up? Welcome to Hashtag Sports. Who knows it?
That's all you have. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, the Buffalo Bills with an impressive? I'm used to saying that from last year. Effective
victory over...
Outlandish victory.
Outlandish?
I was upset today.
I got a little mad.
I'm not going to be a negative Nancy.
No.
But when you expect different things and you get this...
Yeah.
A win is a win in the NFL.
Yeah.
Okay? Any given Sunday. But I think just the reason is we have to take this with a grain of salt because it is the New York Jets. And we saw how putrid the Jets were.
Oh, my God. It was
Now,
rough.
the question arises. Were the Jets putrid all by themselves? Or is it the Bills that made them look awful?
Well, first off, before we get started, welcome, everybody.
Yes.
I want to get to two of your predictions that you made on the Cold Front Report.
And you knew I wasn't going to do this. I was not going to do that.
I want to call them out because I thought they were great. So please enlighten everybody as to your predictions.
I went on Jets Talk 24/7, which is Ryan, a friend of the show.
Yep.
And I went on Cold Front Report last night doing predictions. And the two predictions that I had that ended up coming true, my bold prediction this morning that I put up on Twitter, that Josh Allen was going to outrush Le'Veon Bell. And
well, yeah, he outrushed the entire Jets offense.
The entire Jets offense. It was amazing. And then the other one was, which I took some heat for. I said that Stephon Diggs would only have 80 yards receiving in this game. He went 8 for 86.
Yep.
Took a couple thumps. The ball was not on time when it should have been.
No, I agree with that.
We can all agree with that.
I agree with that, yeah.
But yeah, I just thought that coming out of the gate, which we saw, he had more continuity with Brown than he did with Diggs because he's been in the offense for 8 years.
Yeah.
So I expect that number to go up for Stephon Diggs. I think he's going to have a couple 100-yard games in here, sprinkled in there every once in a while. But, by and large, I think... Yeah,
your prediction was under... You thought Diggs was going to go for 80.
I thought he was going to go for 80. Yeah.
And what did he go? 86?
Yeah. So it was... that's what I thought. I thought they were going to work on it. But we know this offense is very predicated on timing,
very
reroutes.
Much so.
So if John Brown comes in after playing with Bruce Arians and says that this is the most difficult offense he's had to learn, even though Diggs has been in the NFL, how is he going to transition to that? Which is going to be a little bit slower, but 80 yards, you can't be mad at that.
No. And the thing that you saw about Diggs was his awareness, right? That's what I got most excited about was he not only knew when he was wide open, he was seeing when other guys were wide open. It was like, no. Go there. So that was really exciting to me because you could see the separation skills with Diggs, right?
Yes.
And his awareness on the field is awesome. And he's very vocal.
And you get to see when Brown is a number 2, how that affects everything.
Sure.
But you're talking about Pierre Desir, who got sat in the second half.
No, and reasonably so.
Yeah, I mean, it was. They were playing, and it's hard to gauge it just a little bit for me because how bad Mookie will be mad about that.
Yeah, below 0. Actually, we already were messaging with Mookie on Twitter. Yeah, don't worry. That knife got buried.
So, Paul, how much of this is just the ineptitude of the Jets, and how much of it is the Buffalo Bills coming together as a team out of the gate fast?
You know what? I'm super thrilled that this is what week 1 looked like, right? Because week 1, well, I'm just saying that, the offense got it together well enough to get past their opponent, and that's really all you could ask for every week, right?
Absolutely.
But with no preseason, you have to be a bit excited. There were some really great things that I saw, like the touchdown to the touchdown pass to Brown on the audible. Brilliant audible on the screen, wide receiver screen pass. Brilliant audible, checked out, got to that screen pass, Brown all the way. Beautiful call, right? These are things that you expect to see week 3, week 4 of the preseason.
I expect a lot more of those.
Oh, you do?
Do not listen to Brian Dable. I was kidding. Now, some of the plays today.
Yeah.
We're going to get through it. We're going to get through some of the plays. Apex, Daniel, Angry Buffalo Sports Fan, Richard Smith, Tim Ellington, Marlo, Bilo Zero, as we said, Trust Process, Forbes, Smith. We got everybody in the chat bringing up some excellent points. Over 40 minutes of possession is amazing.
Huge. That's huge.
Let me see, what else do we have here? We need to shop for a kicker. I made a comment privately to Paul. I said that Tyler Bass was the Josh Allen of kickers. He's got an amazing foot, but accuracy's a little off sometimes.
I will say that first field goal,
it was in.
It was in, but the NFL rules state that if it's above the upright, it's not reviewable, which I think is kind of crazy. Right?
I think he's going to have a lot of those.
Yeah, right? The guy's got a cannon for a foot, but you would think with the era of technology that they can't just go into PowerPoint and, draw two straight parallel lines and say, I don't know, is it in or out? What are you going to do? You can't, if it's above the upright, you can't imagine, it's like in baseball. If it's above the foul pole, it's still a home run, right?
Yes.
But a field goal post is not a marker of fair play. Yes. So it's not the same. I understand why they say it's not reviewable, because then you have to say, well, what if half the football is on one side of the line and not the other? I get that it's a game of angles, so it'll never be reviewable, right?
Yep.
But it was in.
Yes,
but it wasn't reviewable. So if you were frustrated that McDermott couldn't challenge that, their hands were tied. There was nothing they could do about it.
Daniel Garvers comes in the chat. He said Dable called a good game today, in my opinion. It's going to vary. It's going to vary because you don't know what was Dable, what was Allen, what were the checks, what were some of the things that were going on. But you have to be impressed by the presence of Allen a little bit more in the pocket today, even though he had a month and a half to throw.
That's where we're different, because
all right, let's go.
He had a month and a half to throw, and when I saw him make throws to Diggs as an example, a lot of those throws were actually late. Diggs had broken the route at that point and was wide open.
Yeah,
and he's running for 15 yards wide open.
But we accepted that. I mean, we accepted that that was going to be slow. That relationship was going to be slower than it was with Brown and Beasley today.
Right. So, yeah. He did have an absolute year to throw the football. And I got to be honest with you, Cody Ford and Darrell Williams on the right side.
It's pretty, isn't it?
Pleasant surprise. And I saw
Peter Martinez just came in with that.
Yeah, I saw somebody make a comment about how maybe it was Greg. It had to be Greg Thompson. Mentioned that Darrell Williams is the perfect pickup for compensatory picks, right? Because if he plays lights out at right tackle and he goes and signs somewhere else, Bills get a compensatory pick down for him, right?
Yes.
But honestly, the right side of the line was a big question mark for me, and I was really happy with it from a pass protection standpoint. The run game was a nightmare, and I am concerned that the Bills don't have the type of running back room for inside the 10-yard line, right? So I have big concerns with Buffalo from 10 and in. And I understand that Josh Allen is their best weapon in the goal line scenarios. I get that, right? Mm-hmm. But from a running back scenario, I'm not thrilled with where they are with that room.
No. I'm not. And the fact is, you got Josh Allen who carried the ball 14 times and combined by the running back 18. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Moss and Singletary both getting 9 carries. Both are, in my opinion, rhythm runners. Mm-hmm. Those are guys that. They could heat up and they could definitely take a game for you. But if we know anything about the EP system, the one that Brian Dable's brought over, the hybrid that he's brought over from New England, is the fact that it's going to be predicated on the players that you're playing. So the strongest part of the New York Jet defense was that defensive line with Quinn and Williams, because you lost Mosley, you lost Adams, they had stuff. So the Bills were going to try to spread them out as much as possible, try to give Allen as many reads as they could. So the run game probably took a back seat because of Quinn Williams being the strongest part of that defense, and I can understand that. And you know what? Morse had trouble with him last year.
Yeah.
He did, admittedly. But now you look at it this year, Spain and Dawkins, didn't hear their name.
Nope.
You talk about Ford at guard, which we've been pining for months.
Yeah.
And then you talk about Williams at right tackle. This is, trying to get back to the form that he was a couple years ago. Mm-hmm. OG Bobby Johnson. making it work. Making it work with that line.
We'll cut an episode later this week talking about the offensive line and the design there, because I think there's something really cool going on that is with the design of the offensive line. But the one thing I will say that you just mentioned, and I actually see Pliable, I know Trust the Process says, when you're up 21 points, Josh, you don't have to run the ball. I think that's a great point, and he's right. When you're up 21 points, why are you risking? And this is where I disagree with... Gary's had mentioned that he thought Dable called a good game. This is where I disagree a bit, right?
Yeah.
You're up 21. Your best weapon is your quarterback. Why are you going to risk that when you're up 21 points before the half, right? Like, what
you want to run the clock down. Maybe you're just playing for a field goal. I mean, I can see how you're being conservative in that
And
respect.
with the Jets, if I were Greg Williams, I would not worry about Josh Allen throwing the football. Josh Allen is not proven. Like Josh Allen has proven the first 2 years, if you're walking into week one saying, we're going to make Allen play more quarterback than running back. And they're really focused on stopping the run game, and I thought that was pretty obvious, right?
Yes.
The Bills could not run the football today. I think a lot of that was the defensive line of the Jets. I don't really put that on the Bills because it was pretty obvious that they were focused on stopping them in the run game. But even with that being said, offensive line I thought performed really great. But I really take issue with as many quarterback runs when you're up so many points.
Yeah, and we could argue all day. Like, if he was dropping back to pass and then scrambled for that and then fumbled it, that's not on Dable. That you could tell was a designed run. Now, the thing that we don't know, and we probably won't know because they don't let this kind of information out, is the fact that did Allen check to that? Mm-hmm. Well, did Dable call something else and Allen check to that run?
Maybe.
So that's one of those things that's kind of like the chicken or the egg. What happened there? What really happened? But in my opinion, you're up 21. Let's say it was a called run. Mm-hmm. Let's say it was a design called run. Allen had like 50 yards up until that point. You got to say. Someone even mentioned it in the chat. He said it was shut down in the second half. Mm-hmm. I want to make sure I get who it is though. He said McDermott shut that down in the second half.
I'll get to Gary's comment real quick. He says, Paul, I see your point about Josh running there, but Josh is also their best running threat. And remember, when you disagree with me, you are the one who is mistaken.
It could happen.
Sometimes.
We just want to mention Butcher's Block and Patriots Talk. Thank you for
as always. Thank you so much.
Good win for the Patriots as well. A lot of people thought they were going to be a tire fire. So
Cam Newton, 2 rushing touchdowns. Exactly. He's got a lot to prove.
And I really believe, Tin Hat Mario says that Cam Newton's in New England because of the success of Josh Allen.
I think there's something to be said for proving that a mobile quarterback can be successul in that system.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I do want to say Buff Hub calls out horrible red zone efficiency. I loved Dable, but disliked Allen in there. I'm okay with...
Are we talking about the throw to Brown that went in the third row?
There were a couple like that, right? Because there was the one to Knox in the corner where he was open for a year. He could have gotten him a chair and sat down, and Allen... See, here's the thing, and this is what gets me a little bit about Allen just as a player, is you saw the change up a couple times today, right? On the screen passes, they were nice, catchable passes for the most part when he involved, when he involved some players close to the line of scrimmage. But as soon as he starts scrambling, and if he's not going to flip those hips, I mean, if he had flipped the hips, he would have thrown the ball harder. Like, let's just be realistic.
He had time to set up, which I don't think he's used to yet. But if you look at Allen, he had 33 completions, and 8 were to backs, 3 to McKenzie's, which is that.
Right.
So 11, so a third of his passes were designed passes, with the screen game and whatnot. So highly efficient. Those are highly efficient passes. That's what the EP system is predicated on.
Oh, look at this. I see Believers Talk is in the chat. Ryan Thiel is in the chat. Donnybrook has joined us.
Yeah, Shiva's in there. Do I know why AJ was not active? Shiva's go, it's probably, I think it speaks to the depth of this team. And maybe with the abridged preseason, quote unquote, he didn't get a chance to really get the flow of the defense. Mm-hmm. So, I'm not
rushed. I'm not rushed there. Yeah. Mario Addison and Jerry Hughes. We saw Jerry up against the right tackle today. Did you see Jerry getting moved around? Jerry Hughes getting moved around a little bit. And the biggest fear that I've had all year was what happens if you lose Milano? And then what happens? Milano goes down. And then you're like, okay, well, things are all right. They'll survive with A.J. Klein. It's going to be fine. And then Edmonds goes down with his shoulder, and you're like, wait a minute. Time out here. Time out.
Sorry, Paul just mentioned Milano and Edmonds going down, so
yeah,
that's what I need to do.
And thank God it was late in the game. But Terrell Dodson, not bad. AJ Klein, not bad. Now, I'm not saying they're comparable, but you survived the rest of the game.
No, and these are the insurance policies that Bean and McDermott were going after. And it also speaks to the preparation and the coaching of Leslie Frazier. Let's not discount him. This is his defense. This is what he's running, and able to coach those guys up. But this is why you go out and get Klein for a 3-year deal, is to take over from Milano. Right. I swear to God, if I was Milano, like when he had his interception, any play that he makes that's huge, I would just be doing this after every play. Yeah. Like give me a contract. Like, that's what I would be doing all the time.
That's it.
But like I said, throughout this stream and throughout the week, we do have to keep in mind now. Is it just how futile the Jets are, or is it the dominance of the Bills? Because they were horrible.
Their three of their first 4 drives were 3 and outs. It was just bad.
Putrid.
They were just bad. But I look at that and saying, okay, well, you didn't have Josh Norman available, right? The Jets wide receiver group is not great. Their offensive line is a disaster. They got Fant on the right side. They've got Becton on the left side. So if ever there's a day to get penetration with just 4 guys, it was today. Uh-oh. You're having a thought.
I'm having a thought.
All right. What's your thought?
Well, the Jets, a year after the Bills, tried to remake their entire line.
Oh, God. Here we go.
The Jets go for a Carolina guy. They get a new center.
Oh, God. Here
they
we
draft
go.
a guy. And...
You all right?
Brandon Bean.
Oh, God.
Often imitated, never duplicated. You can't expect to do what he did from last year to this year as far as you don't know who the offensive line coach is there. You don't know the cohesiveness of it. But this is the same thing the Bills did last year. They just threw together a bunch of guys. You got Spain, Feliciano, Morris.
Which really is unheard of. Like, you really have to give it to the offensive line coach and Brandon Bean, because you cannot simply just remake an entire offensive line in one offseason. The Bills did. And honestly, they you come up with some revisions along the way, but some great stuff there. I do want to talk about the one addition to the offensive line that often gets underplayed. Ryan Bates almost had himself a touchdown today.
He did almost have himself.
The first Josh Allen rushing touchdown was 100% a corner pass to Bates. It was 100%er. Remember you talking about Pat McAfee, talk about his touchdown,
the 100%er,
Troy Polamalu. Yeah. It was 100%er.
If you guys go back to the New England Buffalo Bills game of last year, where he threw the touchdown to Deion Dawkins, that's
same play. It was exactly the same play.
A little bit different formation, but that was Bates was the extra lineman.
The C gap. That's right. If you guys have never heard the Pat McAfee talk about Troy Polamalu wrecking his life.
Good play. Are we going to talk about what Troy Polamalu was? I saw the angel of death in the sea gap.
It's 7 minutes long, but it's magical.
It's gold. It's magical. So gold.
Yeah.
Bobby Johnson, Richard Smith. Bobby Johnson, unsung MVP. Buffalo says, not pleased with Edmonds' missed tackle for the TD. That was a huge play. Clearly, we need to plan for Cam Newton. He went 15 and 19 today. Mm-hmm. Very modest,
conservative.
Very conservative. But you get to see, because I think everyone, once they get past the ghost of Christmas past with the New England Patriots, because you had a very statuesque quarterback back there that if something wasn't there, he was just throwing it away or taking a sack. Now you have Cam Newton back there. It's a little bit different, which helps the line. It helps the line. Josh Allen being as mobile as he is helps the offensive line, because guys just can't pin their ears back and come know that they're coming in a statue. So in that respect, the New England Patriots, for a few weeks, they're going to throw some wrinkles at them, because you can't attack them like you would the last 20 years.
Right.
So,
what did you think today about the movement behind the line, right? We talk about option football. Option football is probably some of the easier football to
the
install.
Pistol they were running today a lot.
I like the pistol, because you gave Davis in the pistol formation. I was like, I like this idea. Yes. You're taking a big, tall guy. Normally in pistol formations, you have a tight end there.
Yes.
Right? And the Bills care what they have, 6 wide receivers active today. So in the pistol formation, which we've never seen, and we saw split backs with Moss and Singletary today. Very excited about that. So a lot of cool stuff that just kind of went under the radar.
Where was Yeldon?
You know how you have Jake Fromm as the emergency running back or emergency quarterback. TJ Yeldon is in case of Corona, break glass, get TJ Yeldon. So that's where we are.
I do not know this guy.
But Gabe Davis in the pistol formation, that's really creative, and I like that a lot because I wouldn't say he's a great run defender, right? I don't think he's great in the run blocking game, but he doesn't have to be, right? In that pistol formation, he's there to be a distraction or a weapon, and it could be either. I love that look.
You know what? What is the one thing that we have actually praised Dable for in this offense? Coming into the game,
you're going to have to lead me on this.
The game plan coming in,
and
the second half adjustments.
Yeah,
he seems to be really good at that. Now, you're up 21-3. This is a position the Bills aren't in. If Dable took anything from New England, what does New England do when they're up by a bunch of points? They start putting in plays.
Yeah, they're just nonsense.
Only that the defense has to plan for the following week. Like, they may not even run them. Mm-hmm. So, you look at the Bills today, Josh Allen running the option. They may...
Donnybrook, trail mix. That's what Dable does great every game.
You know
the
what?
Trail mix.
He's got a pocket inside of that mask.
I tweeted at John Feliciano because he was pissed that he wasn't allowed on the sidelines. I said, go up to the box. Dable's got great snacks. I'm sure they'll let you in the box.
Did he respond? Please tell me Mongo responded.
He did not respond.
I love Mongo.
Great Twitter follow. Great Twitter
Mongo needs to be in the car ASAP.
Gonna need a bigger car.
Just put you in the car seat.
Pierre Martinez, Teron Johnson was targeted a ton today. Absolutely he was. Breaking tables, Bills talk. The screen game is still pretty bad. We have yet to get that going. A lot of what you saw today was really obvious screenplays, right? Like,
yeah.
They were clearly screenplays.
Well, let's go to it a little bit. You got Singletary, 5 for 23. Very modest.
Yeah.
Moss,
modest.
3 for 16.
Yep.
With the touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
McKenzie, 3 for 17. So those jet sweeps, it seems like they accounted for him. So what's that? 56 on 11 catches.
Yeah.
So it wasn't, they didn't break open, but McKenzie's really the only guy that has breakaway speed of those three. So with those little plays.
And the Brown touchdown was effectively a screen pass.
True, very true.
Really effectively a screen pass. If you look at how that play broke down, there were guys downfield who normally aren't downfield. So that was a screen pass right there.
Mask is actually a feedback from Kevin. Gabe Davis getting some work. I like no holding call, so there's no Lee Smith today. Ryan Thiel comes in.
That's right. You know what? Cody Ford looked great. One holding call. One.
He had a holding call?
He had one holding call today.
Okay, I must have missed that.
Yep, that's fine. I'll take it.
But
I'll take it.
Him at guard.
Yep.
It's
hold on.
Hard to argue with that.
Andy C, what's up, Mario and Paul? Any word on Milano and Edmonds? Milano is a bigger piece than I would have originally thought. The run game will get going. I feel it didn't go well today because of play design. That and the Jets were selling out to stop the run.
They were selling out. They were like, listen, let's let his arm beat us. And
absolutely
46. Like, here's the thing that I get about it. And Butcher's Block, thank you. He says, do you have concerns about the interior O-line? And then here's the deal. I'm going to get to that, but he throws for 300 yards today. Mm-hmm. Obviously, that's going to get a lot of people off of the 300-yard rush. But
sure.
46 attempts. This is not a week-to-week thing where he's going to throw 46 times again.
No.
Matt Stafford did that like 4 or 5 years ago when he had like 800 attempts, and then I think they went 6 and 10.
Well,
so,
I mean, if you're Mark, really to peel back, and I want to get to Milano and Edmonds in just a second, but to peel back a little bit, you can't say that, oh God, Allen's got to stop running the ball and then be surprised when he attempted 46 passes. If you're winning by a lot, you do what works, right? If your quarterback has a ton of time to throw, the safest thing for your team is to throw a football. It's really the safest thing to do, especially with a quarterback like Allen, right? The safest thing to do is to throw the football. It was working. No reason to stop. Score 100 points. Who cares?
So what you're saying is that the offense, Dable, and the offense diagnosed quickly if they were selling out just to stop the run. So they said, okay, we're going to alter our game plan.
Well, I think the end of the first half highlighted that maybe we should throw more.
I don't know. Did he have like 20-some attempts at the half? I thought he had quite a bit at the half.
He had a bunch. But at that point, normally the Bills hit cruise control, and they're just coasting their way, praying to God that the team doesn't come back. Yeah. We've seen that happen.
As far as Milano and Edmonds, I'll just say this. Edmonds is a guy that, to me, is the Allen of the defense. Mm-hmm. Even though... And that's crazy to say with Trey White over there. But I'm talking about the guy that you have in the center of that makes everything go. I mean, you could put a guy on on Trey and never throw his way.
Right.
You know what I mean? But, the guy in the middle in there, Edmonds, is the guy that has to get everybody where they need to go. Communication is got to be paramount on the defense, even though you have a lot of guys there.
Yep.
Dodson going in there, we talked about it on an episode earlier where if you bring in a rookie, like let's say you don't re-sign Milano in the offseason, you have to bring in a rookie. The rookie's going to be very comfortable because there's so many working parts around him that have been here for a while. It's fine. So Dodson, as a Band-Aid for a little bit, could be good. If there's a prolonged injury to Edmonds, I fear what's going to happen to this defense.
And the truth is we don't really know because there's no tests that are going to come back as conclusive. The Bills don't actually have to release any injury information until Tuesday. So
upper body injury.
Yeah, it's upper body injury. Upper body, lower body injury. So the truth is we're not really going to know anything till maybe Tuesday at the earliest unless something leaks. But now that reporters can't get within a country mile of players, there's really no leaks on a lot of this stuff. So probably a good thing. But the truth is that it's going to be a while before we hear anything.
Here's my question though.
But I'm not happy with the depth on the team. But the way that they performed today makes me feel a little bit better, but I still don't love the depth on the team at the position.
Does this alter how Miami plays Josh?
Well, with the linebacker?
Throwing 72% completion percentage and 300 yards. Do you think that they're like, we may want to reconsider having him beat us with the pass? Because historically, in his short career, Allen has
he beat you with his
lot of success against Miami.
Yeah.
So, that being said, And before we get to that, I want to get to the Butcher's blog. He says, do you have any concerns with the interior O-line? I got to tell you right now, they don't re-sign Quentin Spain unless they have the confidence in him. Mm-hmm. Mitch Morse was the highest paid center now.
Yep.
He's able to communicate things on that line. In the beginning of the year last year, it was Feliciano who moved over, who was the center, and he was communicating a lot of things because he had familiarity with OG Bobby Johnson before. But now, Morse is there, Spain's there. Now you got Ford, who is next to the highest paid center, and he's next to a former Carolina player who enjoyed some success. So, putting him in between there is only going to make him better. I think that they saw some things last year, which is probably why they went out to get Williams. Is like, okay, listen, he may be an amazing guard here, so let's put him at guard. Let's see how it goes. And like you said, aside from the one holding penalty, I don't have any concerns about the interior line. You better not say a word about Deion Dawkins today.
Nope, Dawkins played really well. Can't be mad about it. Somebody did ask about if what happens when Feliciano comes back. Colin Kugo says, what happens when Feliciano comes back? But Ford's been holding down that right guard spot. I've been among the thought process that Feliciano was brought in to be a transitional piece because he worked with OG Bobby Johnson.
We see that all the time.
Right, yeah, that happens all the time where if a new offensive line coach comes in, oftentimes a player from the team that he was on comes with them to help translate to the guys that are already there. Feliciano just turned out to be the best right guard on the team at the time. Yeah. So the one thing I do want to warn against, though, is a pec injury is not something that once you're medically cleared, you're just good to go. Because you have not been able to do any strength conditioning at all. Nothing. So even though Feliciano may come back week 6, week 7, realistically, the Bills have 21 days from the date that he's medically cleared to reactivate him. He's going to need every day of those 21 days to try and build strength back up because the truth is he really won't be ready because of that pec injury. So even if Feliciano comes back and is activated off the IR, they get 3 weeks to bring him back to the roster. And I gotta be honest, I just don't think that is gonna happen right away because that pec injury is it's really gonna slow down his progress. Those are awful.
Oh, you look at Feliciano though. I just went to go look at his age. I mean, 28 years old. So he will have hopefully a faster recovery time. It's not like he's like a 32-year-old guard, you know what I mean? Where he's been hammered and all that stuff. But a similar type question that we could ask now, proactively. He asked when Feliciano comes back. What happens when Josh Norman comes back?
Levi Wallace played fine today.
Played phenomenal. But then again, you just made a point earlier the Jets receivers.
Well, no, you know what? I gotta be honest with you. I'm not gonna say anything about Levi Wallace. I will say that Teron Johnson played outstanding today, being up against James Crowder all day.
Yes,
right. That's their number one. He's always in the slot. Teron Johnson held up great.
Herndon wasn't heard of today.
Well, I mean, you saw garbage time. You saw Herndon, right, where he's just running seam routes against zone coverage. So Okay. Like, it's just, okay, that's what you're going to do. That's fine.
Is this really what we're doing?
Yeah, all right. Sure, that's fine. Take your 7 yards up top. Whatever, let's, G-Rock says, when will we see Epinesa? I don't think we're going to see Epinesa immediately because, one, Mario Addison had no problem crushing down Becton on the left tackle position. Hughes looked good. Trent Murphy, I thought, played great.
He did. One of the first run plays, he was in the cutback lane.
Yep.
Which is usually what a linebacker does. He's in the cutback lane. But you had Trent. McDermott even said it himself. He's the hard hat, lunch pail guy. He's going to turn in everything you ask of him. He's not flashy. He's not going to do this. But he came down the line. He read the tackle blocking down. He definitely just came straight down the line. It was in the cutback lane. Something that Nigel Bradham never did. But the point is this. He was always in the cutback lane. And which actually goes to Breaking Tables Bills talk. He's like, are you concerned if Epinesa didn't play today? And what are your thoughts on the Bills defense not being able to... The second part. Not being able to get to the quarterback.
I think that's...
You can
really
cause so much more disruption even if you're not getting there. Like we talked about it last year. A lot of people were talking and getting down on Jerry Hughes. He was so disruptive and getting into the backfield and wreaking havoc and getting guys off their spot that sometimes you don't need to get the sack. Like the Buffalo Bills, I think, what it said at the early onset of the broadcast, like they were like 12th in turnovers or whatever. Yeah. So some of that is attributed to Hughes not getting the sack and the quarterback throwing and forcing a pick or something or a fumble.
Well, I think there's a play that sums it up pretty well. There was a play where, and you'll always notice this, Trent Murphy and Jerry Hughes, even Mario Addison, they'll have a tendency to take a wider angle around the pocket, right? Because they want that quarterback to step up into that interior pressure. Right, so what you're seeing, right? Exactly. So, Oliver Phillips, Jefferson played great today. Like the interior played awesome.
Zimmer got in there and knocked down Bells.
Sure did, right? So there was a lot of interior rotation going on, right? But the whole idea behind this defensive philosophy is let's get the ends moving to make the quarterback step up into that interior pressure because we've got two guys in there that are slowly working their way back to the quarterback, right? So that's the idea. We saw that a couple times today where Darnold threw under pressure with 4 guys bearing down on him, 2 from behind, 2 up front, a bunch of incomplete passes that way. And that's what it is. The whole idea of, and this goes back to Sean McDermott. You go back and watch McDermott as a defensive coordinator. There were really only a few times where you saw defensive ends or defensive players of his really put up a ton of sack numbers. It was really kind of rare.
Yes.
Usually it was the rotation. Most guys had between 4 and 8 sacks. Like that was the deal. Across the line, it was like between 4 and 8 sacks across the whole line.
Yeah, the only exception he had was Julius Peppers. But that being said, is that's so you won't have to game plan for one guy because you could take one guy out of the game if you wanted to. But if all the guys across the line are getting the same number of sacks, you don't know who to. Or doubling him, or not doubling him. We're going to single him. We're going to do this. So that's a lot of the things that go through with that. But we're talking about the Dolphins next week. The question was, it said,
math teacher over here,
Pierre Martinez. He said, "What do you do at linebacker if Milano and Edmonds are out next week?" So, I have my theory. What is your theory on that? If both of them are out,
that's a big problem. You're playing a ton of nickel, right?
You're putting Klein in the middle.
You're putting Klein in the middle because I don't think you really have much of a choice, right? And you're bringing, you're going nickel, so you got Marlowe. That's what you're doing. Is that what you were going to say?
Speaking of Dean Marlowe.
Oh, God.
Heck of a special team.
Speaking of special teams, Andre Roberts, I think he had 60 yards for the Bills in total field position today. Totally useless on offense. 100% useless on offense.
That's not why you have him.
Right. The Bills didn't know that last year. We wasted a lot of snaps with Andre Roberts on the field.
But now that we got that out of our system. That's where I was leading a little bit. I was going to say something like, okay, if you have to do it, okay, Poyer in the 3 games at the end of 2019 or 2018, Poyer was able to come down, play more nickel, play in the box, play Milano's role and all that stuff. He's a banger, and he's used to doing it. He can do all that stuff. And then you put Marlowe in at safety, or you put Marlowe in. You put Marlowe in at safety next to Hyde. You can move Klein to the middle. If you're impressed with how well Dodson played. Maybe you give the kid a shot.
We got a little banged up, so we don't really know.
One or two series. Yeah,
we don't really know what Dodson walked away from that game with either.
Yeah. But, that being said, they have depth. Plus, you're going up against Jordan Howard and Matt Breida, which is not Le'Veon Bell. Right. So, the Bills were concentrated on stuff.
Let's not forget Myles Gaskins.
Listen, you're all this fantasy talk.
No, Myles Gaskin was the running back. Played with who's the tackle that we like that's on the practice squad right now? Long hair.
Trey Adams.
Yeah.
Yeah, you played with him. That being said, you look at that. The Bills have so much depth going on all over the place. You could put Klein in the middle and maybe put Hughes at outside because they were moving him around all the time.
We talked about
Hughes
him playing outside. You're really right. Hughes could play outside.
We talked about him playing a Lorenzo role.
Well, Hughes had played outside linebacker before, so it is possible.
So, he hasn't played in a while.
The one I will say that I was very concerned.
Calzo.
He's doing a morning show with Jeremy
from Gold Farm Report.
Yeah. The one injury that got me early in the game that I was really concerned about, Buffalo Mafia News says what's up, was when Hyde went down. Because I immediately went, ruh-roh, we got a lot of strong safeties on this team. We don't got many free safeties on this team.
And they put Marlowe in.
And they put Marlowe but dropped him down, right? They kicked Poyer back and brought Marlowe down, which is kind of the move you expect, I guess.
Poyer looked upset.
I know. But the three positions that I was most worried about injuries was Milano, Edmonds, Hyde. Those are the three guys you're like, you cannot get them hurt. What do we see? We saw Hyde off the field today. We saw Tremaine off the field today. We saw Milano off the field today. Those are the three positions on that defense that, listen, from a free safety depth perspective, we don't have that many true free safeties on this team.
No. But this does circle us back to a discussion that we had on either an episode or a live stream, which we got butchered for. Okay.
Since when is that new? All right, go ahead.
In 3 weeks, Paul, when he comes back. Now, does this increase the likelihood that you have Josh Norman follow Micah Hyde around?
Oh God! Teaching free safety.
Just saying.
We did get the help.
With Josh Norman playing center field back there, so you don't have to adjust what Poyer's doing. He's a seasoned vet. He knows what's going on. Putting him at free underneath Hyde, if you had to, in case of emergency, break glass. Okay, that's what I'm saying. Now, don't call me a lunatic about this, okay?
I gotta be honest with you. I regret having this idea.
Charles Woodson.
The great ones have done it.
I'm just saying as an emergency, not that you have to do it, that you even, it has to be a consideration. But if he's at that point in his career where he wants to extend his career or certain things happen or...
Well, and truth be told, he's going to be coming forward a lot easier on hammies than flipping back. If he's going to be dealing with a hammy injury, it's a lot easier to get him on the field. And if Wallace is playing
at this level, if Wallace keeps improving and playing at a level where you can't take him out...
They put him on the diet donut all offseason, man. What do you expect? Levi, listen, you got to eat a sandwich or something during the offseason.
The donut
We need you above $1.75. Okay, that's the goal. We need you above $1.75.
I am just...
No more bantamweight for you.
Listen, I'm just, in case of emergency, McKenzie for cornerback.
Oh,
That's
God.
a Belichick move right there. Oh, God. I am just saying that there are worst ideas that could happen. Mm-hmm. Now, am I perfectly fine with Marlowe going back there? Am I perfectly fine with another...
Jaquan Johnson?
Jaquan Johnson, you can put him back. But he's like I said,
he's
a banger. He's a downhill guy.
The Bills do have
not to say that Hyde's not.
No, but the Bills do, in the safety room, do have a lot of players who step down really well. Mm-hmm. But I can't say the same for guys who can stay back. So why don't we kind of look forward to Miami? What lessons do we learn from today going against Miami that we think are important things to keep track of? Because I've got a couple things that, from watching the game today, I'm looking forward to the Bills revising the way that they went about today to go against Miami.
Go against Shaq Lawson?
No. I'll give you my very first one, right?
Okay, yeah.
Do not think in any circumstance that you're going to get the space off the line of scrimmage that you got today.
No.
Against Miami, because they're paying their cornerbacks an absurd amount of money. They are going to beat the hell out of your wide receivers. They're going to beat the hell out of your wide receivers. So, what is a great solution to that? That's why I was so excited about the split backs and the pistol formation, because I'm looking at that saying those guys aren't accounted for with those two studs of cornerbacks, right? You're taking the matchup and saying, okay, you can take Diggs, you can take Brown, but you're not taking Gabe Davis. You're not going to take Singletary. You're not going to take Moss. We're going to take those away from you, because the Bills love to split out 5 wide, but with 32 personnel, right? They love to do weird stuff where they go 5 wide. It's 2 running backs out on the field, right? What? Listen, I saw a go route to Patrick DeMarco last year.
32 personnel?
I saw a go route to Patrick DeMarco last year.
32 personnel?
I did say 32 personnel. To be all tight ends the Bills have on their roster on the field at once. Whatever, it doesn't matter.
It's 23. They went a lot of 10 today. A lot of 10 personnel. They did.
Yeah. Either way.
4 wide and
either way.
1 back.
What I'm saying is that the pistol formation, the split back formation, I think is a great way to counter.
Okay, Mike.
What that?
All right, Mike.
Oh God.
Split back. You always have 7 to protect. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Point being, here's what I'm thinking. If you can answer the question,
Tim Alec did ball drunk enough to expose the White Claw, but it's mango.
You have no idea the looks you get being 6'5", 250 pounds, and buying Mango White Claw in the store.
It was not for me. I assure you.
Are you drinking it? I didn't drink it. There's 11 left in there. That's the 12th one.
Mario opens up the mini fridge. He's like, hold on, I'm going to grab some beer. Grabs 4 Bud Lights. I was like, oh, I can grab these from here. He's like, no, these are for me. I'm not getting up.
Well, the Bud Lights are still in there. Point being is this. Are you confident that if Brown and Diggs are taken out of the game completely next week, that the Bills could still be efficient offensively? That's the question you have to ask yourself. Does Beasley, Knox, Singletary, Moss, and Davis, does that give you enough firepower against a Flores-led defense, which comes at you from 75 different angles? Plus, you have to realize, too, if you have 2 stud corners, you could put them on islands and do whatever you want with their other 9.
Right, exactly. The issue that I'm having looking at Miami is the fact that they could take a note from the Jets that said, if you sell out to beat the Bills in the run, just long as you've got 2 guys like that, you can probably survive. Right.
Well, you don't know because he spread. Gallery's even brought it up earlier. He completed past the 8 different guys.
Yeah.
So it's not like he's going to focus on somebody.
Right.
He's going to spread the ball around. Obviously, 2 of those were backs. One was
Knox looked great today. Knox looked great today.
He's a beast. But one was McKenzie. Those little passes. Which is why he made the team. You think about. I know how much you love Ray McLeod. He could still run that pass.
He's on the Panthers now.
He's back on the Panthers.
Yeah, let's get past that. I think he's with the Panthers. It doesn't matter.
Probably he could be. I don't know. Point being, it says if they are taken out. Now here's the deal. This would be the true progression of Josh Allen, though. If let's go ahead.
Paul's take minus.
Now if they happen to take, let's say Brown has 2 catches, Diggs has 3 next week. I'm just spitballing here. The Bills win by 20. Mm-hmm. Would you say would that dispel a lot of the naysayers against Josh Allen and the fact that, okay, his 2 biggest weapons were taken away and he still was able to spread the ball around, make reads, dump the ball off here and there, do what he needs to do? Because if you take away those 2 guys, it's this first test, those 2 corners take those receivers out and they lose.
Yeah.
Now you're like, uh-oh.
Right.
What?
Yeah, there's a chink in the armor.
There is.
Yeah, I get that.
Fitz could be one of our top weapons, Tony B. If Breeze goes down, Winston.
Oh, that's right. Thank you. Steven says he's with the Steelers. And for those of you joining us, 113 people on the live stream. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Don't forget to hit that.
Now.
Yeah, I know. Oh, sweet, beautiful. Don't forget to hit that like button if you haven't already. You can always
we're horrible at promoting ourselves.
Oh God, man! Listen, we got 6 kids between the 2 of us, man. We're just.
We do want to say thank you once again to the hashtag Heroes.
Yeah.
Another successful month that we're just piling on top of the big pot that we're going to be donating to the Pun Foundation, Brian Moorman's charity. So we want to thank you guys for that. All the hashtag Heroes. We know that We're going to end up having some Zoom calls with our Hall of Fame crew. So you guys know we're going to be doing that stuff very, very soon. We're also going to be going live on Instagram randomly at first. But then we're going to start planning some stuff.
I learned so much on these live streams.
No, but
I have no idea what he's talking about.
The beautiful thing is you can go dual lives on Instagram. So we can bring the nation in and we can have discussions and they all get uploaded to IGTV so you can say, hey, I was on with hashtag.
Oh, great. You know? Evan got the football that he won. So
we did?
Evan Anderson got that. We had to send so many things internationally.
Did you send it by Rigshaw? Like, what the...
We had to send something. You know the paperwork you have to send stuff internationally.
And here's the thing, because we talked about this all the time. If you're a fan of hashtag for a while, you guys know this. We really don't discuss things throughout the week because we burn so much material.
We did earlier today.
We had a half-hour conversation.
It was great football talk.
Point is that we'll just randomly text each other like, "Hey, did you send the helmet? Did you get the email? Did you send the helmet out?" I don't know what you're talking about. Wait, let me. My 7-month-old child I'm feeding him, but let me get on that later. And then you're like, Paul, did you do it later? I forgot.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Hey, Mario, did you schedule that stream? No, all right, hold on, I'll do it now. So you guys know that this is the land of technical difficulties.
Well, and again, with Instagram, you don't have to have an Instagram account. You can still watch the videos without an Instagram.
Oh yeah, you can watch them, but if you want to be an active participant,
right?
And it's nothing like because we're going to start jacking that bad boy up very, very soon. So for some of you that want to go on Instagram, have one-on-one conversations or 2-on-1 conversations, handicap match with Paul and I. So that's what we're going to be doing.
That's it. That's it. Oh God, this guy, he's got the official issued.
The Bills won today. I'm rocking the title.
Oh my God!
You will not take this. Should I wear it like Bubba Ray Dudley?
Oh my God! Put a gun in my mouth. Jesus.
We're gonna get demonetized for that. Thanks, Paul.
Come on.
Point being is this: that the Buffalo Bills showed me a lot more today that gives me confidence of things that they're gonna build on.
Yep. Oh. Breaking tables. Allen still seems to be holding onto the ball too long. He almost got Diggs killed. I really wish he would work on his touch passes. Yeah. There's a lot to unpack there.
I'm not laughing about that. I'm laughing about the subsequent comment by Ryan.
Our Instagram for OnlyFans.
The champ is here.
All right, so
let's...
the truth of the matter is you're right. So we've talked about this before. One of the biggest things about Allen is his arm is really strong, which allows him to wait, because he can wait to the last minute to get somebody the football because he throws it so much harder than most quarterbacks can. That window is bigger, right? Yes. That timing window is bigger. The downside is he's pretty reliant on that window staying pretty big, right? And we saw that a couple times today. The overthrow to Brown, the overthrow to Knox in the corner. Both of those were a result of Allen just working faster, his feet working faster than his arm, right? Like that was all of a sudden it's, I gotta go, right?
Yeah, and we don't know if, at this point, do you trust, even though Allen's been in the offense, would you trust more Diggs or Allen at that point? Because maybe Diggs came out of his route too early, but still was open.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So maybe that could have been something where, okay, I have this kind of read route on this play. All right, I'm going to stop here. And then Allen's late with it. Allen maybe thought he was going to extend that route a little bit. We saw one really big miscommunication where he threw the ball down the field and Brown checked it up. Brown checked it up. So
that's preseason stuff. Let's be real. That's preseason stuff that you do work you work your way through that. I do want to point out just one thing, because Serenity now says, can you dig it? Stefan says, Diggs always open. Stephon Diggs, let me just say, it is so refreshing as a fan to not have to rely on a number 3 receiver to contribute, right? Like last season, it was Brown and Beasley in the slot, and it was whoever they had on the other side, and that's the life that you were living. Now, Beasley catches a ball, you're like, oh, all right,
he's still here.
But that's the role that he really should be in. Beasley should not be the focal point of it all.
Beasley's a chain mover. That's
exactly,
what he is. Yeah.
Right, and he's dangerous when you can get him in the matchups that you really, really like.
Yeah.
Diggs and Brown allow you to make matchup issues with Beasley. And it was so refreshing to look and say, okay, the two outside guys, I'm good, let's go. It's been a long time in Buffalo. I can say those two outside guys, okay, we're good, let's go. Watkins and Woods were the last two I could say, all right, I'm good. But Watkins was always hurt, so you only got it a few games out of the season.
So we're in agreement that Diggs is a number one. Would you agree that after last season, John Brown is a number one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is Beasley a number two?
No.
He's number three.
He's number three.
So you're saying we got 1A, 1B, and 2 and 3?
Yeah.
So who's 2? Knox? Because I'll tell you, that screen in the middle that Knox caught, that is a play straight out of New England to Gronk.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
110%. The wheel route where he went up and got it behind him, that is a Gronk move. But here's what I wanted to say when we were talking about a little bit about Diggs coming out of his breaks early, Allen hitting him late and this and that. When you play a formidable secondary, those are either broken up, Diggs is killed, or it's a pick.
Right, yeah.
So,
the things that I saw today, I like the fact that Diggs and Allen were building that rapport. Because with enough targets, I'm more confident that the next game it's going to be better. It's going to progressively get better. But against Miami, that secondary is pretty nasty. So those windows are a lot smaller. So I am concerned about that looking at the Miami game. But what I'm not concerned about is I'm not concerned about Moss and Singletary's contributions to the offense. I'm glad they had sort of a smaller day because against Miami, they're going to be bigger weapons, right? Because they're going to focus on Diggs and Brown, right? So Moss and Singletary should have a really, really nice day. And that, again, you look at it and you say, okay, well, who contributed today? Knox contributed today. Diggs definitely did. Brown absolutely did. Beasley had a couple nice catches, right? Moss and Singletary you forget about.
Yeah.
You forget about them.
Yeah, I just hope Dable doesn't forget about him.
Well, and you saw Gabe Davis get involved right away, right? Why do you put Gabe Davis on film in the script immediately? Why is that the choice, right? You look at because your first 10 to 15 plays are normally scripted, right? So why is one of your first passes of the season going to Gabe Davis? Why are you putting that on film?
Because the things that we talk about a lot on the show is the adjustment period for a rookie wide receiver coming into the NFL. Even though certain plays were scripted in that respect, I understand that. But you want to get his feet wet so that if something happens throughout the year, Brown goes down with a hamstring, Beasley goes down with this, or whatever. I mean, he's not really a slot guy, but the point is this: you want to have that contingency plan there because what do we see? What do we see today? Le'Veon Bell goes up with a hamstring. Guys are getting injured all over the league. Marlon Mack tears his Achilles. I know that's kind of crazy, but you saw these guys with all these soft tissue injuries because they didn't have that proper preseason. They didn't have the proper offseason and training camp to work those things out. So you're doing that preemptively to give the kid work that if called upon in those months of December and late November, they're going to be there. They're going to be there for you. So.
Well, but you also move Gabe Davis around, which I think speaks to the level of what they think of him as a player.
His understanding of the offense. He may have been in the book the whole time.
That's true.
So
that's true. You earn that position.
Yes. McDermott does not hand that to anybody, which is crazy.
Well, I mean, of course he doesn't hand it. He activated a third-round pick, a fourth-round pick, a fifth-round pick over the second-round pick.
He did.
What does that tell you? For
necessity, though. You know what I mean? That's
I'm okay with Epinesa not being active today. I really am, because I really don't know if he would have been able to bring an element that they don't already have. Right? I look at that as, you hope your second-round pick can contribute immediately. And in this instance, right, I'm okay with them not being there. I really am. Like, look at that defensive line rotation. Did you miss Epinesa?
No, you didn't.
I didn't.
No, I didn't. Now, and I want to do something for the chat real quick, and I want you to type it in because a lot of people are talking about Diggs being a stud, Diggs being this. He had 8 catches for 86 yards, no touchdowns. Now, we're going to sort through because... What was that?
That's a great comment. We got to talk about that.
Trevor? Yes. Let's do that right now because I can get the Diggs.
No, go ahead. Take that.
Well, what I was trying to say was that if you and the nation's too smart for this, they know me too well. But this is what I'm going to say: if you said that Diggs was going to have under 100 yards and no touchdowns in this game against the Jets with their weak secondary,
I would have taken that bet.
No, but would you have been disappointed or happy?
I think there's an over-under here.
Because they say, hey, Diggs is not going to even have 100 yards, and he's not even going to have a touchdown against the weak Jet secondary. And you tell a Bills fan that, and they go, "Are you out of your?" You know what I mean? They're like, "You're crazy. He's going to have over like 170. He's going to have 130 yards, 2 touchdowns." You know what I mean? Just because the caliber player that he is.
Right.
And everyone in here is saying how much of a beast that he was. I'm fine with his performance because I know how much of a timing the timing routes and everything, how this offense progresses. So,
well, to be very honest with you, Mario, Allen has a reputation, and a lot of Bills fans probably don't realize this, but Allen has a reputation for throwing guys to tackle, right? Because he makes those reads so late.
Yes.
That a lot of times you notice the Bills are often near the bottom of the league in yards after catch, right? And that's specific to Josh Allen. That is a Josh Allen issue. So the Bills are often in the basement for yards after catch because Allen throws them so close to contact,
True.
right? Because those windows that are open that he might not catch right
really
away,
fast, yeah.
they close quick in the NFL. And then in college, it's obviously a different scenario. I do want to get to Trevor's comment.
Yeah,
though,
Trevor
I
had
thought
a
it was
great
great.
comment.
He talked about Ed Oliver putting on weight. Ed Oliver 100% put on weight this offseason. 100%. And we were talking about this last offseason.
Yes.
That Ed Oliver came in light because he was trying to show that he could play the interior on a 3-4 or the exterior on a 4-3.
They had him on the nose.
Yeah, that's not where he should be.
Well, no, at this weight, it's fine.
Yeah, at this
last
weight,
year,
no.
no.
Yeah, Ed Oliver didn't have an opportunity to weight control. The Bills didn't have the opportunity to get weight on him to put him at DT from an NFL level. So he did struggle last year getting kicked out against stuff. So that absolutely was an issue. But the Bills strength and conditioning team did a great job with him this offseason because
best in the league,
he looks... Well, they are the best in the league. That is a fact. That's not us. That's a fact.
Yeah,
they won the best strength and conditioning program in the NFL. So that is a fact. But he was an anchor today. I didn't see Oliver get pushed out. I didn't see Oliver out of his gaps. I saw him pushing through. Oliver was an anchor today. And I absolutely love that.
Ed stole the feedback from his horse.
He's a strange cat, man.
Ryan is on fire today.
He's a strange cat.
I want to get back to the, was it Tony B? Well, Mario, we're only getting 8 more wins this year, right?
Right. Yeah, sure. And Mario, you guys, 9-7?
Tony, I'm going to call you the plunger because you're always bringing up old.
Oh, my God.
No, I'm just kidding.
God.
Here's the thing. This is what this kid has done to me, and the fact is this. I have to stay by that point.
Yeah, that's true.
I would have jumped off that and said 11-5 at the conclusion of today's game. I can't. I said 9-7 division champs.
Yeah.
Gotta stay with it.
There.
I gotta stay with it.
There.
So
yeah.
I will weather the storm.
Yeah,
I will weather the storm the entire year. That's fine.
That's okay.
Did they play the West today? All right, no.
Well, let's talk about their upcoming schedule, right?
Russell Wilson 4 touchdowns today.
Oh, Russell Wilson. He's good. He's good at football.
He's good at football.
Russell Wilson, very good at football.
And we're gonna have the DK Metcalf talk. So, they should have drafted Metcalf. And
I'm totally fine with the approach that they've taken.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I'm totally fine with the approach that they've taken as an organization. Period. The end. Totally fine with that. So let's look at the next 2 games, right? You got Miami coming up, and then you have who after Miami? After Miami, it is the Rams. I'm good with that. The Rams are a nightmare. They're a nightmare.
But they can put up points in bunches.
Sure.
So that's something that has to be. I mean, you have to take that into account.
Yeah.
But with this defense and how they fly around,
Fitz had a very Fitz day today. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think he completed a touchdown.
What did you say about Fitz? And when he comes into town, he just destroys
I don't remember.
The starting quarterback. Like it's just a matter of time for the starting quarterback just is not there anymore.
If you bring Ryan Fitzpatrick into your organization, you are just basically ensuring that whoever you want to be the future of your organization will not be. Right? Like, whatever problem you're having is just going to make it worse at the quarterback position if you bring in Ryan Fitzpatrick. He's like a plague to because look at every job that he's had. He took over for Carson Palmer when he blew out his ACL. All right. Took over for he beat out Trent Edwards when Trent Edwards forgot how to spell his name. Okay, there we go. And he took over Marcus Mariota when his life ended.
You got a case of the Troy Aikmans. Stefan said, I want to point out that Mario did predict a pretty close result to the one we had today in the stream yesterday. Yeah. They won by 10?
Yep.
I had them winning 20-6.
Yeah. Right.
So 14. I had them actually winning by more than what they won today.
I did have 27-10 with the garbage time touchdown.
The garbage time touchdown killed you.
Yeah, garbage time touchdown.
Yeah, you're not getting hired by DraftKings.
Nope. No. I had Jamison Crowder on my bench today. That was 36 points gone.
Well, you didn't know he was going to have a 65-yard touchdown, the longest of his career.
He's literally the only person who catches passes for a living playing wide receiver for the Jets. They're a disaster. They're a disaster at the wide receiver position. I just want to give my condolences to Sam Darnold's career having to play behind that line. It is like Mac. It is like testing the bulletproof cup from Super Troopers being back there. It's just there's stuff coming from everywhere. You don't know which one's going to kill you. Like, Sam Darnold made it through today relatively unscathed. But the truth of the matter is that line is bad. Bad for the Jets. That poor kid is going to get killed back there. That line is bad.
And a lot of people are really down on Darnold. And I think that if he gets away from Gase and actually has a somewhat average line.
No, come on. We
Give him an average line. I didn't say he's better than Allen.
But Josh Rosen has had 7 offensive coordinators in the last 5 years. Who cares, man? Who cares?
First of all, it's Alex Smith, who had 17 coordinators in 5 years.
No, Josh Rosen has seriously had, I think, 7 different offensive coordinators.
He's been on 8 teams in 3 years.
Okay.
Where's Rosen now?
We're taken.
No, Rosen's in Oakland, isn't he?
Who cares?
Oakland. They don't have a team. It probably is in Oakland. I'm such an idiot.
He's like, guys, what's going on?
He's like, oh, they moved? They're in Vegas? Sweet. I mean, I can gamble.
What's Rod Streeter doing here?
Hey, is that Darius Hayward Bay?
He's still running.
Rosen is in Tampa. Okay, he's in Tampa.
All right, thank you.
I knew he was with an offensive-minded coach. I just didn't know if it was Arians or Gruden.
Oh, Christ. All right, the Illustrator.
Oh!
And we're back. Hey, thank you so much, man.
And we're back. Thank you, brother.
Yeah, much appreciated. Much appreciated.
Do you have a question? You can throw it in subsequent to that. We'll get right to it.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, Skippy the Tub Rat. I haven't seen
Pierre
Skippy
Martinez
in forever.
Thoughts on Becton. Now, I'll be over here. Because I know you love just destroying Mekhi Becton.
All right.
He's moving the table and everything.
Here's the deal, guys. Mekhi Becton is a very fun person to watch in like a strongman competition. If you look at his feet, he's like a lot of people at the bottom of a pier in New York. There's concrete in those shoes, guys. There's concrete in those shoes. But watching him throw bodies is fun. But boy, does he not know how to communicate with his... I'm gonna go back to my white
What?
cloud.
I'm about to check out of this play and run it myself. All right, so Skippy, we got Skippy the Tub Rat. Are they watch Donald turn up in Foxborough next year too?
That is actually a scary thought.
That's a
scary thought for me because
a
that's
believable
100%.
thought.
It's very, very believable.
It is.
That's very believable.
That's pretty scary.
Yep.
No, Elliot, I do not. Do you want to just should we tease that for everybody?
Oh yeah.
Let's tease that for everybody.
Yeah.
All right, since we're talking about stuff.
Yeah.
Hashtag, you guys always want merch and stuff. So basically, what we're going to be doing very, very soon is we're going to be having a little bit more merch for y'all on these beautiful hats that we have,
yes,
these fitted
sir.
hats, which Paul thinks that I have a dome up there. I don't know. Why do you think I have an 8 3/8 hat? Who am I, Albert from
8
WWE?
3/8?
No, I have a 7 1/4 hat, but you think I have this dome on my head. We're having hashtag hats coming out very, very soon for you guys.
Yeah, we're actually dropping these off the print guy to see if he can print them up, and then we're just going to field test them to make sure that they meet our stringent quality standards.
Yeah, they're going to have the logo and the hashtag.
Which just basically doesn't survive a week with 6 kids.
Yes.
That's pretty much the size of it. But once we get something that's quality, then we'll let you guys know.
Yeah, we'll definitely give it to you guys, and we'll let you guys know. They're not going to be, you're not going to break your wallet for them.
No.
That way, so.
No. Guys,
we give stuff away.
Yeah, we lose money on everything we give you guys. So, and that's fine. That's the whole idea. You know, we want you guys to have stuff that's,
that kind of little coat.
That guy,
Ryan, he is on fire today.
I know.
He's been throwing jabs at everybody.
I love it.
Today. But it's so we were talking about the Dolphins. I think that we're going to see a completely different game plan for the Dolphins. I think that it's going to be very run oriented. I'd be surprised if Allen threw 30 passes next week.
I believe that. I think that's very believable.
I'd be very surprised if he threw 30 passes.
Yeah, the one lesson that Brian Dable could take from his previous stop in New England is the fact that you simply can't take a similar approach every week, right? And that's kind of what we saw Buffalo do. Was we see them, let's be real. Zach Moss and Devin Singletary are not perimeter threats, right? So what
No.
do they do to offset that? They use McKenzie out of the backfield, right? That's what they do. They use McKenzie on those jet sweeps to kind of mimic what that's supposed to look like. So the reality is that Dable's personnel packages stay pretty similar, but it would behoove him to get creative with what he puts out there every week. Like, if you don't see the pistol formation next week, that would be great. No, that'd be great.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Yeah, put it out there, make it a look, take it away, right? Because then teams go, well, I don't know if they do this look, but we still have to prepare for it.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. So, you had an opportunity today because you were ahead by so much to literally not give situational football away, right?
Yeah.
You had the opportunity to say, you know what? It's 3rd and 1. Let's throw the ball 47 yards down the football field, right? You had the chance to do that today, but guess what they didn't do? They didn't do that. They did not flash Allen down the field, which I think is really fascinating, and
Because
I don't know why.
You think it's coming?
Well, is that because they were worried about showing that Josh does struggle to get the ball down the field? Is it a communication issue with the wide receivers? Did they just not want to show it because they just didn't have a need to show it? I mean, the truth is you normally put that kind of stuff on film when it doesn't matter, and the second half of this game kind of didn't matter, but we never saw it. So
I always think
curious.
I always think those down the field plays are lightning in a bottle anyway. I always think that they're really tough, A, to complete, and B, if you do hit a big play down the field, that's not a sustainable model for your offense throughout the year.
No, I agree.
What
with
they
that.
did today, peppering it all over the place, that's a sustainable model the teams are going to have to plan against. And if they could stop it, they stop it. But those long balls, like the Jamison Crowder, is that a sustainable play, his touchdown, that the Jets could be like, hey, this really works.
Yep.
Let's do this all the time. It's not going to be a 65-yard touchdown all the time.
Oh,
even though it was a short pass, I understand.
A hashtag sports banana hammock. Listen, we're not field testing that. We'll field test the hats.
I love it how
I
love how I didn't have to say anything, and you were already going to give the punchline.
Listen, the quality control department is not dialed in to what it takes to make
quality
it terrible.
control department. Yeah, our quality control department. Mario, try this on. That's what our quality control department is.
That's true. That's totally true.
Mario, can you? Hey, so what do you think of this?
Yeah, Mario, do you like this hat? Oh, feels good.
Let's go.
Sold. Sold.
Mario just wants Drew Brees on our team? Why would I want Drew Brees?
Ooh, Pierre Martinez. Maybe because the down-the-field stuff is Davis, and they didn't want that out there. That's an interesting thought process, right? Because you look at Brown and you look at Beasley, and they really are vertical threats. Brown and Diggs are vertical threats. Beasley's not really a vertical threat. They tried to put Andre Roberts in a vertical threat role last year.
4-6 though, isn't
he? Yeah, but it's an angry 4-6.
He runs with mean intentions.
Well, let me ask this, right? Out of a pistol formation, right, is the seam route easier than if you were in a standard 2 tight end set? Out of the pistol, can you run a seam? How messy is it to get to the seam?
How messy?
Yeah.
There's a lot of noise in the middle.
We're not asking him to go down the middle, right? You're asking him just to cut to the hip of the tackle and go. Right?
Oh, out of the pistol. Okay, out of the pistol.
Yeah, out of the pistol. If you have Gabe Davis in the pistol, does that make him actually a more dangerous deep threat? Because, yes, he's starting 3 yards further back, but the truth of the matter is he's a little guarded, and you're instantly starting him on a linebacker.
You play Madden, right?
Of course I play Madden.
Are you telling me about the Texas route by the running back that you always run? Or he just goes,
Guys, see what I'm talking about? So,
point being is this. I understand that having a wide receiver in that position, there would be more explosion going up the field. And if you're following Knox, who's running a crossing route, he's going to take a guy and he's going to be turning the linebacker's hips first so he can get up.
You know what we need to do? We need to define the pistol route. So for those of you that weren't sure, you hear us talking pistol route. So the pistol route is where you had a receiving player relatively close to the line of scrimmage, but behind the line of scrimmage. You actually saw Washington run it a ton with RG3. Like a ton. You see Baltimore run it all the time, right? So I just want to make sure that we frame what the pistol formation actually is. So it's when normally you have a single back behind.
Continue.
So normally when you have a single back. He's legitimately leaving me. It's when you do have a single back behind, but often there's an up back of some sort. A lot of times it was Patrick DeMarco, but we're talking a guy a little bit closer to the line of scrimmage. That was Gabe Davis this year, so far from what we've seen. So the question I asked Mario was, does that make Gabe Davis a more dangerous receiving threat? The fact of the matter is, if you could take Gabe Davis and put him on a linebacker, you're winning, right? Regardless of his 40 speed that Mario just alluded to, regardless of anything else, if you could put a player like Gabe Davis on a linebacker, you're winning that matchup, right? And I don't really think there's too much. I don't really think there's too much debate about that. Anytime you can get a matchup on a linebacker with a wide receiver, you take it. So the pistol formation, I think, is a great way to kind of do that. Mikey Mike, ankle route is glitchy in Madden. Oh, what did you leave me for?
What did I leave you for? You said you wanted an example of the pistol formation.
Oh my God! All right, go ahead.
So this is what I was doing for you.
Okay, no, I appreciate that.
You mutant.
Thank you.
Okay, I was trying to give you guys a little bit of a preview for a pistol formation. Okay.
There we go.
All right, so that's what we got. You got Singletary behind.
A lot of people that skip in this episode are going to say, "What's YoXO?"
YoXO? Yeah.
Well, that's a Y.
Sorry, let me put 88 there.
Okay, there we go.
I initially was using the XYZ.
Yeah.
For it. Okay, so we got that right there. So
88. That's an 8?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Shut up!
And you're a math teacher? There we go.
Yeah, because I'm used to drawing on whiteboards all the time.
My God. Look at this. All the technology in the world, and we got Mario.
Shut up, you mutant! So this is a play that you can commonly run out of the pistol. Okay, you got Diggs running a fly route. You got Beasley running the whip. You got Knox clearing out. It's backwards. Okay.
This is more official than when Dable writes plays out.
He writes them in the
dirt.
Point being is that you have multiple options on this play for Allen. And you get Davis up the field. Point being, I'm going to punch you right in the baby.
But the truth is, right, on a route like that, the whole goal is to get him isolated on an outside linebacker and hope that the safety doesn't drag. Right, yes. The safety doesn't stay home. Yes. That's the whole idea. And if you can do that, then you're going to utilize Gabe Davis's skill set great. And that's one thing that I can simply say is so much different than previous years. And maybe we should end the stream on this. How nice was it?
This play will work every time if you want. You want to work every single time.
It was so nice to have. No concern about your wide receivers catching the football. I know that sounds silly and remedial because these are professional athletes.
Yes.
But I think we could all say as Bills fans that there were times where you'd see a pass going like, oh, is he going to catch it? I did not worry about that at all today.
Oh, no.
There was no concern of, oh, my God, he's going to catch it.
It's a spider through a wide banana.
That's right.
G-Rock, thank you. All right, well, listen, ladies and gentlemen of Hashtag Nation, we want to thank all the hashtag heroes, all of you that devoted your time to coming to the live stream.
Oh, that reminds me. If you want to be a hashtag hero, you can hit that join button. Yes. And then 50% of all the proceeds go to the Punt Foundation. So we make that donation every month.
But, Galleries, spider through wide banana is supposed to go to the banana.
This guy.
Anyway, point being is this. We'd like to thank all you guys for doing that. And make sure you come back next week for our post game. But prior to that, we're going to have a few episodes that we're going to run through. Obviously.
Yep. Smiley, where's the wings and ranch? Listen, that only happens when I lose bets, and he gave me cucumber ranch, which is worlds worse than just regular ranch. It was terrible.
You gave
me gas station chicken wings.
You know this.
Gas station chicken wings. You have no respect for me.
You lost a bet. You know what you were going to do to me if I lost?
Mario sends me a picture today. He's like, well, the Bills are arresting people if they go down to the stadium, so no tailgating. He's got a Star jersey.
That's my Star jersey.
Yeah, so I texted him. I was like, I wouldn't want to leave the house wearing a Star jersey and have people call me a quitter either.
He totally spun it on me.
You can't wear the Star jersey this year.
I can't.
Anybody who's wise to the Bills is going to call you a quitter.
They will.
You're just going to get called a quitter.
I'm man enough to take it. It's fine. But that being said, thanks for coming to the post game. You guys have so many options as far as Bills content goes, and the fact that you guys want to come with us and listen to our content it's amazing. I can't thank you guys enough. We're gonna like Paul said, the hashtag heroes. You hit that join button at the bottom. We're gonna have episodes all week, and then we're gonna have our post game next week. We're gonna try to watch one of these games together. Who knows if it happens? Point being is this. We want to thank you guys for your contributions to the channel, because if there was no nation, there would be none of this chaos and mayhem over here. So thank you so much. And we're going to go film a couple episodes this week.
All right. See you guys soon.
You guys are the best.
Later. How do I stop this thing, Mario?
And
Is it the stop streaming button?
yes.